How they could make my favorite character in Dragon Ball Z cooler, canon. Well, it's actually super easy to. So the way they could set it up is that before Frieza was born, Cooler was supposed to become the next king, but when Frieza was born with more innate power than Cooler was born with, this would cause King Cold to kick Cooler to the side and make Frieza the direct heir to the throne. However, their mother would reject that notion, saying that yes, Cooler's default power level was not as high as Frieza, but his growth would be just as high, if not higher. But being stubborn, King Cold refuses to reinstate Cooler as the next heir, so this would lead to King Cold and his wife making a deal that in so and so amount of years, the two brothers would fight each other for the throne, and so then what would happen is that Frieza's mom would take Cooler far, far away, while Frieza would stay with King Cold. This would explain why Frieza would not know about his brother when he would show up, as King Cold would not feel the need to bring up someone he thinks Frieza needn't worry about, as well as Frieza being a newborn when all this would happen, so of course he wouldn't remember his brother, and their army wouldn't whisper about it because either they would have been on Cooler's side and left with him, they wouldn't know, or fear of treason. This would also cause Cooler to train quite a lot so that he could take back his rightful place as heir. And then we fast forward to the current day when it's time for that deal the parents made to come through. So Cooler would already be in his fourth form and pull up on Frieza for then Frieza to ask, who the hell is he, and why is he here? And Cooler would act all heartbroken, wondering how could his baby brother not recognize him? And Frieza would be like, what the hell is he talking about? If he keeps speaking nonsense, he'll vaporize him on the spot. And Cooler would then burst out laughing, saying, wait, don't tell me father never mentioned anything to you about mother or me. Did he? Of course he didn't. Which means you don't even know why I've appeared in front of you. Frieza would snidely say, of course not. Did he come down here for a family reunion? Cooler would laugh even more, saying, how foolish for father not to tell his precious baby boy anything. As he would then explain the deal their parents made, Frieza, after hearing the deal, would start laughing, saying, oh my brother, you don't seem to see why father never told me about you. It's simple, really, because you're not a threat, especially to the me now. Cooler would then retort, oh, is that so? Then he should be able to entertain him a little then. For Frieza to say, whether this bet is real or not, it does not matter to him. But since they're family, he'll let him go this one time. But if he tries to fight him, it would sadden his heart to have one less branch on the family tree. Cooler would then laugh even louder, saying, who knew that his baby brother would grow up to be such a comedian? Now perish. The two would then fight each other, and the fight is rather even, but eventually Frieza would say, that's enough playtime. It's time to finish this, as he has other things to attend to. As he would then go golden and would have this significant upper hand on Cooler. Then after tossing Cooler around for a bit, Cooler would say, very good, baby brother. You won't make this boring after all. As he then would go golden for the fight to get close to even again. They continue clashing for then Frieza to get more annoyed and say, okay, that's enough fun and games. It's time for me to end you. As he would transform into Black Frieza, which causes him to take a significant advantage over Cooler again and start manhandling him for then Frieza to have his feet on Cooler's chest with the death beam aimed at Cooler's head, saying, well brother, you entertained me as best you could, and it looks like he'll have to refer to himself as King Frieza now. Now that he says it out loud, it has such a nice ring to it, doesn't he think? For then Cooler to power up, throwing Frieza off of him as he transforms into Black Cooler. As seeing this transformation, it would shock Frieza into saying, what? How could this be? Hearing this, Cooler would remark, oh my dear baby brother, there's no need to be so surprised. Anything you can do, I've been doing. As Cooler would then stop holding back and start dog walking Frieza. And after working Frieza bad, and I mean bad, when Cooler would be preparing to finish off Frieza, Goku, Vegeta, Broly, and Gohan would then appear for Cooler to ask, who the hell are they? While Frieza would say, why the hell are they here? They would say, of course they'd be here after sensing the strong energy that came from here due to their fighting, and of course to fight a new strong foe. Cooler would then say, he'll deal with them later after finishing off his younger brother. And they would go, what? Younger brother? Wait, Frieza has an older brother? And then the goofs and gas would ensue for a bit until Cooler says, enough! It's time for him to rightfully reclaim his title as heir. But Goku would then step in and say, Frieza, as Goku doesn't want a strong enemy like Frieza just dying on him. After seeing this, Cooler would say, so you are going to get in my way. But then Cooler to call down Cooler's armored squadron, who would then start fighting Vegeta, Broly, and Gohan, as Cooler would take on Goku for getting in the way. And the strength of Cooler's armor squadron would be on par with the Gammas. Then what happens is while fighting, a senzu bean would fall out of Goku's pouch and land next to Frieza, who would remember what it does and take it to full heal. Vegeta would finish off his member first and then head over to Frieza and start laughing at him and asking him more questions about his brother, while Broly and Gohan are still dealing with their members of the squadron, but they deal with them soon after. But back to Goku, who would have his hands very full in blue dealing with Cooler and is forced to go UI in order to keep up with with Cooler, for then Cooler to stop and notice that his armor squadron has been defeated and says, "This is getting bothersome. Why don't all of you come at me at once so that I can end this quickly and get back to dealing with my baby brother?" And they're like, "No, we want one-on-ones." Cooler says, "Fine then," as he heads straight for Vegeta and strikes him, then fires a beam at Broly, then strikes at Gohan, and fires his Eye Beam at Goku, and then kicks Frieza. This causes both Goku and Vegeta to start fighting Cooler and UI and as evolved, and with just the two of them, they manage to actually phase Cooler, for then Cooler to start laughing and then say, "Finally, a worthy opponent has appeared, as they have the honor to be the first and last ones to see this form," as Cooler goes back into base fourth form and then transforms into final form Cooler. Cooler then starts doing some damage against Goku and Vegeta. Frieza eventually jumps in as well, but it doesn't really help as Cooler shouts, "Didn't I tell you to all fight me at once?" For then Gohan to go ultimate and jump in, as Goku tells Broly just to stay there and watch, and they'll let him know when he can join in. As even though he managed to keep calm fighting Cooler's armored squadron, they're not too sure if he could stay calm while fighting Cooler. So the four of them managed to make Cooler step it up into golden final form Cooler, and even with the four of them, it's still rather even until Vegeta goes ego, and this gives them a slight edge over Cooler, who would then still be holding his own fairly well until Gohan would go beast. This would then start posing a threat to Cooler, which forces him to transform into black final form Cooler, which turns him right back into being a handful for the four of them and even an advantage over them. So much so, Goku tells Broly to jump in, and now with all five of them fighting him, the fight is close to even until Broly transforms into Super Saiyan, and then the five get the upper hand and send Cooler flying into the side of a mountain for the five of them to wonder if they did it, when all of a sudden from the mountain, Cooler was sent flying into a very strong wind pressure, would be released in a very loud laughing, as Cooler would say how he's been waiting for this day. The day he gets to unleash the pinnacle of its race's powers on someone. He thought maybe Frieza could do it, but no. But with their 5 powers combined, they might be able to handle it. Cooler would then transform one more time into World Breaker Final Form Cooler. Now, this is where I'll stop. Remember, this is supposed to be just how they could introduce him. So after he transforms into World Breaker Final Form Cooler, whatever happens after that point is open for them to decide what to do with it, whether they kill Cooler or have him live, how he's defeated, whether it's by Broly going like Super Saiyan 4 or something, or UI Gogeta, UI Vegito, Piccolo shows up or something. So yeah, this is how they could make Cooler canon. I do hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please subscribe, leave a like, ring that bell, as it all really helps the channel. I am gone.